So we have Tommy Boy, and you have mainly played. You've mainly played realistic, so that's the stuff we'll have a look at. He's Master of Disguise, so he's got himself all the camouflages, always nice to see. Got himself also the jet pilot profile. I can't remember, is this the Soviet one? I can't remember which one it is. And he's in Nagel, or the Church of the Tiabu 3. So I'm guessing there's a Nigel, a N2 gel, and an N3 gel, as always. But looking at it, heavily use of the British stuff, heavily use of the Soviet stuff, heavy use of the Italian stuff, lovely to see. And also 2 claps for China. Well done, fantastic. Don't get many 2 clappers. Get even less 3 clappers. I don't even know if I'm a 3 clapper right now. Oh yes, I am. But nearly a 4 clapper. But generally, you know, the spading is not incredibly up there. I'm not gonna lie. These are the sniffs of premium vehicles. So we'll have to see if that's true or not. When it comes to looking at tanks and also planes, very much equal across the board. So probably a decent amount of each game mode, plus air support in ground. Not too much naval stuff, a little bit here and there, but not too much indeed. How much have I actually got when it comes to that stuff? Oh, a decent amount. Thought I had a bit less than that. But overall, quite a lot in the ground and a decent amount in the air as well. So 49-48, so basically average when it comes to this, maybe slightly above average at that point. Put you in the slightly upper percentile. Then 49-55, so you are improving, which is wonderful. Always nice to see when it comes to War Thunder in general. Always nice to see improvements going along. Isn't affecting the win rate yet, but it will do if you, it will help you as you, go along and play different vehicles and have a bit of fun with it. So, service record time. Let's see how many premiums are here. We'll start off with the aviation. A5C. Obviously, that's where all the Chinese grind comes from. It's grinding out the whole tree. The question is, you have played the J8B. Interesting. So, you've done well in it as well, so maybe that thing is the way to go. A lot of jets here. Also, the ASA is here as well. So that's where the Italian grinding is coming from. So you basically buy high-tier premiums to grind through all the tech trees and then play jets, which, I know a decent amount of people actually do that, so it's not too surprising really. But most of these KDs are alright, generally pretty good. A bit rough in some of them though. It's very interesting to see the MLD you've squashed people with, but then stuff like the M or the K you've struggled a little bit more with. Same with like the F104S compared to the ASA. Shows how having different amounts of especially countermeasures can really affect your playstyle, and also win rates at the same time, and also metas, I suppose. F104J you've done very well with, Zumi Boy. The general look at this though is, it's very up and down. Some you've done incredibly well with, others you're kind of all over the place with. And that's also shown with the win rates. So there's obviously some playstyles or some machines you're very good with, like you know how they work, you know how to do them, and there's some which you don't. To be quite honest with you, is basically the way to put it. But the stats overall are not that bad. Most of them are pretty good, and hopefully you'll learn from the ones that you do well in compared to the ones that you don't. When it comes to the army stuff, terms, no surprise there. 2F though, kind of surprising. So there's the, once again, very, very high tier stuff. So this is, it seems like once again you just use premiums to get to the higher echelons and then you spade those vehicles. Which is not too much of a surprise. A lot of people do stuff like that. But yeah, it's just kind of interesting to see. You don't do bad in ground vehicles. You actually have pretty good KDs. I would actually, so looking at these ones, And so your KDs in most vehicles are even, or slightly positive or slightly negative, but the win rates themselves are very much lineup dependent. So what I mean by this is there are certain lineups. So for me, stuff like the Chieftain, for example, like the Chieftain Mark 3 or Mark 5, it's very hard for me to get a positive win rate in that lineup. No idea why, it just is. But with other lineups, it's quite easy to do so. And it seems like you are having the same issues when it comes to your different lineups. So maybe you're not having as much of an effect on the battlefield as you may not be having as much of an effect on the battlefield as maybe you want when it comes to these things. So that would be a point to bring up. But obviously with the Chinese, you got the WMA as well. So you've been rattling around in that thing and doing well, grinding out a lot of that. But yeah, once again, it's a very similar story with your aviation and ground stuff. So you seem to be very vehicle dependent on how well you do in the game, which usually you don't see that often. So it definitely makes you unique in a way. I wonder why this is. I wonder if it's just over time you've got better as a player, and therefore that's shown in the statistics, or if it's something else, which it could be also. Just, as I said, just you prefer certain playstyles. But yeah, very much an interesting service record. There's a lot of cool stuff in this one. Big ups to Tom, the Zooman. Really enjoyed looking at this one. And hopefully, you can spread the wings a little bit more. You spread them pretty good already. But there's still a few which are left waiting. Stuff like France and America. But fantastic. Well done. Thank you very much.